Hi, Lit Study students. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone is really focusing on these last 2 weeks of school for a much needed break for all of us. I wanted to make this video to talk about the recent essay where you had to discuss Animal Farm as well as the article from Common Lit called Conformity. I chose Arena's paper to discuss because it's got a lot of strengths, and I just want to make sure that everyone's very clear on the kinds of writing you need to do for this, as you'll have something quite similar for the final exam. Okay, so multi-paragraph essay where you have to discuss Animal Farm plus another text that I give you. Okay, so here's Arena's work. Hopefully, Arena, you're okay with me using your essay as a good example. First off, she did the cut and paste of the academic honesty clause properly. Thank you. You are all supposed to do that. Then in the essay itself, Arena's got a nice, solid introductory paragraph. She's followed that model of the upside down triangle, where she starts with a big, broad idea about social groups and conformity in a general way. Then she comes narrow and gets to a nice specific thesis about the text. I also really like that she has a title. Well done, Arena. Okay, so she starts broad. In a social group, people tend to conform to their beliefs or ideas with others. Even though a person disagrees with existing beliefs, one conforms to it because it's a respectable person leading them, or they're afraid of rejection from others. Okay, broad. Now she starts to talk about the two texts. As we see in the text Conformity by Common Lit staff, there are 3 types of conformity. Compliance, identification, and internalization are introduced. The 3 examples of conformity occur many times throughout the text Animal Farm. Okay, so again, you want to clearly mention the titles of both texts and make that connection between the two. Conformity naturally contributes, I would say maybe allows the pigs, maybe contributes not the right word, but allows the pigs to be able to make rules without objections from the other animals. In the text, animals' behavior show the type of conformity by complying with everything that the pigs say. Okay, so nice and clear. Then her first example, talking about compliance, I agree that the horse Molly was a very good choice here for textual support. Okay, so as you know, Molly has not really been kind of part of this. She is at the beginning. She complies at the start before she runs away. Okay, so again, Molly, in terms of allegory, she represents that noble class of Russian citizens that were unhappy with the revolution because it meant that they would lose all their nice things, their palaces and their riches and things like that. Okay, so just like in real life, Molly ends up running away from the farm, and in real life, that level of Russian society, many of those people left Russia to go live in other countries. Okay, so I really like this example of complying with the rules. Okay, after Clover finds the stuff in Molly's stall, Molly seems to kind of go along, although she has her own beliefs. Okay, so that's why Molly was a really good example. On the surface, she seems to agree with animalism, but she really doesn't, and she ends up running away. Then a nice, solid second body paragraph where Arena discusses identification type of conformity, and using the idea of Napoleon as this charismatic, strong leader, and the use of slogans and speeches. Okay, so again, animals hear the slogan over and over again. If Comrade Napoleon says it, it must be right. Okay, one comment I did make for Arena on her paper, and for all of you to keep in mind too, we cite by the author's last name. Okay, not George. There are a billion Georges on the planet. We want to cite Orwell and then just the page number. You don't need to put page, okay? But again, a very nice, solid example. And again, I like this part of this paragraph because she's very clearly dealing with the essay question, which is why don't the animals protest? Okay. Many of you commented in your essays that the rules seem to be unfair, but you didn't go with like, why don't they fight against it? Okay, because of this, we'll start here. Also, the pigs make Snowball to be the enemy of Animal Farm. So the animals think that Napoleon is a leader who is worth respecting. Okay, again, in terms of allegory, Snowball represents Leon Trotsky. Joseph Stalin would have had him killed. Indeed, he did eventually have him killed. Leon Trotsky had to run away, and he lived in Mexico for a while, and he was eventually assassinated there. Okay, so, but Napoleon comes off as this strong leader. He no longer has Snowball there to kind of divide anyone's loyalties. And because of this, even though Napoleon changes the commandments and wakes up an hour later than the other animals, no complaint was made about that. Orwell 37. This shows the animals are conforming to Napoleon, and this connects to identification conformity. Okay, and then her third body paragraph talking about internalization. And again, we've got a quote from the one text properly cited, and the idea of internalization is repeating of phrases and slogans and commandments. Okay, 4 legs good, 2 legs bad, etc. And this idea that the repetition of these phrases and ideas, they get into the animals' heads and they start to believe it. Okay, and you'll notice this in real life politics all the time. That's why politicians always try to have some phrase or slogan, and they become known for it, and it helps people identify with them. Okay, and then a short but effective conclusion. Particularly in a test situation, you might only have time to write a couple of sentences for your conclusion, and that's okay. And Arena does a nice job of summing up the ideas. In conclusion, the pigs can control Animal Farm because of these 3 types of conformity. Animals on the farm make their decisions by being influenced by others. And then a nice kind of ending idea. 3 types of conformity teach us it's important to have our own beliefs and not get caught up in the group. Okay, so that's a nice idea. I think in life, in real politics, sometimes people do get caught up and conform to the group. We've seen that as a problem in recent politics, for instance. All right, so again, thank you to those of you who've done this assignment. Many of you have not. That's unfortunate. Remember that no late work will be accepted after this Friday, June 19th. This was for a writing grade, so it has a huge impact. And again, it's also good practice for the final exam, as we'll be following the same kind of format. Okay, so again, if you do this assignment, if you're one of the people who haven't handed it in, it's your responsibility to contact me to let me know when you have uploaded it to turnitin.com. You can contact me on MS Teams chat, or you can send me an email to my Bodwell email address.